Now, I want you all to imagine two scenarios. The first scenario has signs at the corner of this property that says, "Welcome to Oro Valley. It's in our nature." This is the slogan of Oro Valley. But these signs are located next to a 300-acre critical wildlife corridor where bobcat, javelina, hawks, owls, and other wildlife live, reproduce, hunt, and travel up and down to and from the Tortolita Mountains. This land is pristine Sonoran Desert and has over 100 giant saguaro, including a very rare double-crested saguaro. It has 7 large washes running through it. There's 8 archaeological sites on this land that preserve our history and our heritage, and many ironwood trees that are 300 or 400 years old. There's no other 300-acre parcel like this in Oro Valley. There's not that many in Arizona, and none outside of Arizona. Now, on the second hand, the other scenario has signs that say, "Welcome to Oro Valley. It's in our nature." But now these signs are next to a Circle K, or maybe a Walmart, and there's a master planned community in the background. But I read all the letters on the Oro Valley website. 119 were opposed to this development. 2 letters had questions or concerns, and 1 was in support.
Now, it's great that we're seeking a seat at the table, and I applaud that. I could support that, because the last thing we need is to show up at the 11th hour and find the blades on the desert. But I need to point out that Oro Valley has got blades on the ground over on First Avenue, and they've illustrated that when that happens, we can kiss the desert goodbye. So
I'm certainly not going to repeat what was in the letter, other than to say I think it took me 3 paragraphs to talk about the biological significance of this particular parcel, and reiterate what other folks have said. But the coalition does have a significant interest in what happens in the Tortolita Fan, and this is a relatively large parcel. This is more, because of the biological significance and the size of this parcel, it's more than just the neighbors being involved. I think the whole community should be involved, and we would like to ask you to either direct staff or have us work closely with staff in the State Land Department as this process develops.
I used to live in Oro Valley. I do not live in Oro Valley. I live adjacent to this property on Coyote Crossing. The reason why we purchased this property was that the area was designated suburban ranch. The idea of zoning is to ensure that you keep property in particular configuration for future use, not for developers to come in and change the zoning of the property. I have walked this property. As a matter of fact, a lot of this discussion that you heard earlier is based upon my research of this property. I have cataloged over 120 of large saguaro cactus that you cannot move.
That's correct.
We were told about planning communities or a master plan, and I have also been mapping out your master plan communities. You have been letting the developers strip the land, strip mining the land. Every piece of the land has been stripped.
What has happened to Oro Valley? It's going from green to brown. If you drive along First Avenue, you see all that old growth, it's gone. Now, people say, oh, well, people have to live someplace, it's gone. So, yeah, that's some few saguaro, few mesquites. It matters biologically. The way it matters is in our children's health.
I live on Coyote Crossing Trail, which is directly adjacent to that property. And I'm not saying not in my backyard. What I'm saying is we just want a similar backyard. When you drive down Moore Road, all the way from King Air to Camino de Oeste, all the way into Marana, it's all suburban ranch along that whole strip. That's the master plan community that we have right now, a suburban ranch. When you drive down that roadway, there's nothing screaming that says, hey, we need a master plan community here.
What I see happening here is dollar signs in people's eyes. They're not thinking about the people that already live there or the fact that it is suburban ranch. You do this, and once it's done, there's no going back. And so please, when you're doing all this stuff, think about the people that are already here and the fact that we trusted Oro Valley. I remember all the things about how, oh, we don't want to be like Phoenix. We're not going to grow like that. Well, that's exactly what's happening. And it's, how do we trust that if you get your place at the table, that isn't just a foot in the door for all the developers, because that's what I've seen so far.